Hey guys, welcome back to Cheesy Crafts. I've been missing for a few days, but I found myself. I'm just kidding. No, I've been missing for a few days because I've been super busy. But I wanted to make sure that I took the time to upload this Mother's Day card video because Mother's Day is like just around the corner. So you guys know that to save time, I save time wherever I can. So I have these pre-cut A2 cards that are already packaged and ready for you just to fold and get working on them. They're from the brand Recollection, and you can find them at Michael's, Hobby Lobby, or Joann's. That's kind of what I'm using for the actual card, and I'm pretty much just decorating the top portion or the cover of it. I used my favorite things, basic stitch lines. You guys see me do this on other videos where I just come in and just stitched each side of the rectangular, and that's kind of what I'm doing now. When I created the prototype, I'm sure there's a lot of crafters that have basic ideas and then they work on them and then they come with the final product. I like to call them a prototype card. So when I created the prototype card for this card, it was very basic, very bare, and I knew it was missing something. So I just decided, to add stitches to all four sides, and it just gave like a little extra decoration so that it wouldn't look so bare. Now, while I have my Big Shot out, I am going to use the word mother from Sugar Pea. And it's a die cut, of course. I also ended up using this 6x6 washi paper. It's washi tape paper, if that makes sense. And I'm using, of course, the color gold, and that's what it's gonna be on the front of the card. This card could not be possible if it wasn't for my crafty neighbor, Miss Melissa. This is, seriously, like I could just go shop in her house. But this is one of her stamp sets that, of course, again, she let me borrow. It's from the company, Unity Stamp Company, and the stamp set is called Rebuild Your Life. And when I saw the rose, I just absolutely thought it would be perfect for Mother's Day. And then they have a little sentiment that says, "You inspire me daily," and I was like, oh my gosh, so perfect. You guys just saw me use my Versa ink to stamp the flower. I know I started blabbering, I wasn't even paying attention to the video, but I'm using the Recollection gold embossing powder. And I think I ended up coating it like twice just to make sure. I also ended up removing some of the excess. And honestly, I like a lot of things about the Recollection brand, but I'm not so sure. Like the embossing powders haven't really won me over just yet. So we'll see. I'm gonna keep playing with them, of course, but time will tell how well they work for me. Now I use coffee filters because they're just easy and inexpensive and very, once they get to the certain point where they're completely flat, I just end up throwing them away. I don't have that much space to store my embossing powder in plastic containers because that takes up too much space for me. So coffee filters work fine. Now I ended up taking, of course, my heat tool and just heating, being very careful not to burn myself, and just heating the embossing powder until it melts. I am going to be taking my Copic markers in the shades or the colors RV66, which is a raspberry color, RV63, which is a begonia, and RV55, which is a hollyhock. And those are the colors that I'm using to decorate the flower itself. There's no really any method, just make sure that once you heat your embossing powder, you have enough time to, or give it enough time to cool down a little bit. And when I say give it a time, I don't mean like 5 minutes. That's even too much. Maybe 1 or 2 minutes and you'll be good to go to start coloring. I really don't have a technique for coloring. You guys know this. I've said this before. I just kind of color where I feel the image requires it. I do one coat and then I come back, blend it in with different colors, or sometimes with the same color, just over with it twice, if that makes sense. I ended up picking gold because pink and gold, pink and silver, metallic colors like go really well together in my opinion. So for this card, of course, I ended up using the gold color. Now I'm pulling the word mother that I previously cut with the die cut from Sugar Pea, and I am going to try to put that as straight as possible. You guys know I eyeball everything, and it's okay if it's not perfect. To me, I think that the people that receiving the cards are more grateful that for the moment that you thought about them, and they're not really picking at every single little thing that is crooked or it's not straight. So anyway, so I'm just kind of eyeballed where I wanted it. Now I am gonna work on the letter M, and basically what I do is I kind of push down on what is the center of the word. Does that make sense? Like for instance, for the letter M, I ended up putting the center portion down first and then adjusting the sides, and I did the same thing with the mother portion. I ended up putting the T and the H down first and then moving the to the left or the right, just to make sure it's somewhat straight, not completely, of course. I ended up picking, of course, a pink, just any pink scrap piece of paper to go as the background. And now for the rest of the assembling portion, I am going to honestly just take washi tape, which is, it's all in a mess because I've used it before. I think you guys saw, or if you didn't see, I've made a Kate Spade inspired storage box using the washi tape. So that's kind of how I didn't put it exactly back together. But I'm just taking that washi tape and securing it on all 4 sides of the top of the card, cutting down on the edges or cutting the leftover on the edges. And it's going to give the impression that you use a gold foil paper or maybe just a gold paper on the entire back, but you didn't. It's just washi tape. And the only reason why I ended up using washi tape is because, again, this was left over from a previous project, and you guys know that I try to utilize all the materials I have without being wasteful. And now we're just gonna assemble the card together. That's basically gonna be it for the front cover. Now from the inside, I like my cards to have a little sentiment on the inside, so this is just where the You Inspire Me Daily is going to go. So it pretty much reads, Mother, you inspire me daily. And of course my mom does. I love her. And so that's going to complete my video, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you like. See you soon.